why can't we train scientists while we're training them to be scientists, train them to be good communicators? Everything would benefit. Science would benefit. Funding would get better. Congress would suddenly understand what scientists want the money for. And other scientists would understand scientists who are not exactly in their field. Everything would improve. And we'd have, the best thing was people like me, the ordinary people who are not trained in science, we'd have this wonderful chance to understand the beauties of nature in a way that only scientists understand it.
Why can't he be president? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am honored. We at Public Broadcasting, at One-on-One, at the Tisch WNET studio, are honored to have Alan Alda, actor, as if I need to say that, writer, professor, co-founder of the Alan Alda Center for Communication, or Communicating Science at Stony Brook University. Oh, my God. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's very nice of you.
Can we jump right into this? By the way, if you want to check out, you may not know, but Alan Alda did a little work in TV. MASH 72 to 83, Hawkeye Pierce. Check out that. Check out so many other things that he has done. Scientific. And by the way, PBS, you've been tied to our PBS family for many years.
Yeah, we did Scientific American Frontiers for 11 years on PBS.
Right. And by the way, the other thing I need to say is your wonderful wife, Arlene, was with us right here, sitting in that seat, talking about the Bronx and all the work that she's done in that area.
A wonderful book, Just Kids from the Bronx.
Just Kids from the Bronx.
We should get 2 for 1 out of this.
Listen, let's jump into this. Your communication, your focus, healthy obsession with communication, and the fact that in your book, the introduction is one of the worst things about communication, the quote is, the illusion that it actually took place.
Right, because it makes sense to you. You think you communicated everything you needed to say in the most exact, proper way, accurate, but the other person doesn't know what you're talking about sometimes, a good deal of the time.
Sure. When did you realize this was a real problem, communicating?
You know, I started to realize, I had a vague awareness that people weren't understanding me a good deal of the time, but it really hit me strongly one time when I was in a dentist's office and he was going to do an operation to take, because I had a bad front tooth. He was going to take out the root or I don't know, some operation with my front tooth. He said, I got this procedure I invented where I pull a flap of your gum over your. I said, have you done this much? He said, oh yeah, it's great. It's great. Then he's got, right before the operation starts, he's got the scalpel right in front of my face. And he says, now there'll be some tethering.
Tethering. I remember reading this book. He used that word?
He said tethering.
What did that mean?
I said, that's what I thought. I said, what do you mean? He said, what? Tethering. He said, tethering. Started screaming at me, barking at me. He never told me what tethering meant. I didn't know what it meant. What it turned out was that little piece of tissue above your lip, inside your mouth, you're feeling for it, that helps you smile, for one thing. I left that office unable to smile properly. I couldn't get. I was like, I had my upper lip was like a flap, like an old scalloped curtain.
Sorry for interrupting while we're talking about communication. Was that your aha moment?
It came pretty close. It stands out in my memory as a significant time when somebody was telling me something that he understood technically, perfectly. And he thought the word he was using would really capture what would be the result of this operation, at least the first step of the operation. And I didn't understand it. He didn't think about what I was probably going through. First of all, he's going to do an operation on me, so I'm in a tender state. The idea that what you have to say isn't as important as how it lands on the other person is a hard one to get, because you think, my job is to explain this perfectly. Your job is to explain it so the other person gets it.
Why?
Otherwise, it's just up in the air somewhere, perfect.
So because I told you, and I've often told the audience, that I teach and write and think about communication all the time and why we get it wrong, why is it so often, in your view, you work with scientists a lot. And in fact, when you're doing the PBS series, the actual name was Scientific American
Frontiers.
American Frontiers. Let's do this, because I'm curious about this.
Yeah.
There are scientists who are so smart when it comes to science, but so challenged. And by the way, whether you're in finance or law or healthcare, it doesn't matter. It seems to me a metaphor for all. And let's take a look at a clip that really sets this up. Let's take a look at the clip.
Oh, boy, that's like, now I'm playing the part of Richard Dreyfuss. I know you come here every day, and you kind of like the way they look now, but I'm telling you that I just got here, and
You should be here 30 days and you like them.
yeah, right, okay.
We're moving at 500,000 miles an hour around the center of our galaxy.
Did you hardly feel a wind?
How did you? I remember a scientist once said to me, Steve, it's 100 part, 1 part per 100 million. I said, I'm sorry, what? And he parts per billion, parts per million. How have you helped scientists communicate so that they can be understood in everyday English, and how challenging is that?
You know, I discovered something on the show that was very important to me. That was a real aha time for me, all 11 years, because during those 11 years, I realized that if the show was going to work, if the audience was going to understand some of the science, it would be because I understood it. And I was relentless. I'd grab them by the lapels. I'd say, I don't understand what you're telling me. Tell me again. Tell me in a different way. It made it so that there was a personal connection between them and me. They forgot about lecturing to the camera. They were talking to another human. So they really felt a responsibility to make this poor schmo understand what they were saying, and then they started to speak in simple terms. And that made me realize that we could probably teach scientists and other people who had complicated things to express, we could probably teach them to do it by getting them accustomed to this personal relationship that you have to get before you try to communicate.
But how? Because you've established this academic center, right? And do you have other faculty members teaching as well?
Oh, I don't teach. I help work it out and keep it going. There are 30 people who are teaching not only at Stony Brook, but in workshops all over the world. We teach in 8 countries.
But they use, quote, improvisational skills to do this. Explain that to me, or more importantly, our audience.
Yeah, well, I'll get it if you get it.
Okay, that's fair. Go ahead.
Yeah. The idea is that in improvisation, in the basic improvisation exercises, not comedy improvisation, not making up jokes or funny moments, but these basic exercises put you in touch with the other person.
For example?
Well, for example, there's one we could do right now.
Do it. Let's do it.
Okay. You have to be my mirror. You're gonna get in touch with me because you're my mirror. So as I talk to you, you say everything I'm saying exactly at the moment I'm saying it. Start talking right now. And don't be an echo. Don't. You have to be the mirror. Right, now you do it to me.
I am intimidated by talking to Alan Alda on PBS right now.
Okay, now see what's really good about this is we both helped the other person make contact. So it was a joint effort. We didn't race through it. I'm intimidated talking to no. We didn't do that, neither one of us. You do things like that's only one of many exercises, and each one is calibrated to lead to the next one, so that people are comfortable at the end of a workshop talking to a crowd of strangers, and they're happy to look them in the eye and find out if they're understanding what they're saying, if they're with them.
Sure.
And that makes a tremendous difference, because if you start to focus on who you're talking to and think about what they're going through while you're talking.
That's right.
Or while you're writing for them. It works when you're writing, too. You don't even have to see the person.
You write for them. Sorry for interrupting. You're writing for them, not... When we get into ourselves, fair to say, that's when our unnecessary anxiety, fear, and nerves kick in. But when I think, I want to share with you, I want to help you, does that take some of it away?
It takes a lot of anxiety away, because you're not thinking, how am I doing? Do I look good? Did
I lose my place?
Did I eat too much last night?
Exactly. Did I leave something out?
Yeah.
Nothing good.
No. On the other hand, if you're thinking about what the other person is probably going, you told me a minute ago you read my book. I wrote that book with you in mind as the person reading it. If I put down this sentence, what are you ready to hear next? That's all thinking about you while I write it. So I was applying what I teach in that way while I was doing that writing.
Let me ask you this. So, MASH changed your life how?
In terms of what we're talking about now, it changed my life in many ways. It made me a better writer and an actor. But in terms of what we're talking about now, I found that we were doing something unusual to get the sense of community, to get the sense of an ensemble. A lot of actors go to their dressing rooms between shots. Sometimes it's an hour and 2 hours while they light the next scene. We didn't go away. We stayed in a circle of chairs, and we made fun of one another and laughed hours a day.
How'd that help?
It helped because we had a connection with one another.
Personal.
Especially when you're laughing. You're open, you're vulnerable. But we had this personal connection. And we took that a few feet away to the set when they called us to do the shot. And we were still connected. So when you see these people in the show acting like they're family, they're making a connection with one another, it's because we really made a connection with one another.
That's beautiful. And now fast forward. MASH and a million other, and by the way, I need to, when I was going through Alan's, our terrific producing team put this together. Alan, talk about the Emmys. You have been recognized for how many Emmys? 7 Emmys, 6 Golden Globes as a writer, director, all kinds of,
Would you like one?
No, I've got local Emmys from here in the area, not the ones you have. But how about this? Your podcast. It's called Clear and Vivid. Because?
Because that's the theme of my life these days. I'm trying to help other people be clear and vivid when they communicate difficult things. And what we did, I love doing this podcast because I have such interesting people on from every field. Dr. Ruth, a hostage negotiator.
I'm looking at Carol Burnett. I'm looking at, is that Dr. Ruth?
Dr. Ruth.
And you're interviewing these people.
Yeah. I'm not interviewing them. I'm having a conversation with them. Which
Tell folks the difference.
Very different to me. Because an interview, you and I are having a conversation, which is very nice, very comfortable, where we both enter into it and think of things and make contributions, and each one reacts to the other. That's much more interesting to listen to than a list of questions and a list of answers.
Wow. Okay, you saw a Broadway play, and Adam, Burn This.
Yeah, I saw Burn This a week or two ago with Adam Driver, and he's spectacular in that.
And you brought him in?
We made a movie together, directed by Noah Baumbach, which hasn't come out yet. It'll come out at the end of the year. And in the same week, I saw Adam Driver play this really difficult to like character in Burn This. And then this lovable character in the movie I did with him. He's like 2 different people, and it's coming out of the same person. He's spectacular. So he's on the podcast. Adam is in conversation with me on the podcast.
I have a podcast. You have 4 million people watching. I'm looking to get 4,000. I just want to clarify.
We don't have 4 million people.
Yeah, yes, you do. Stop. Before I let you go, I need to ask you this. With all of your success,
yes,
you cannot walk down the street here or any place in this country without people not just recognizing you, but I'm confident just telling you how much your work has meant to them. How do you, unless you're the greatest actor in the world, which you may be, appear as humble as you are?
Oh.
I'm serious. I don't have that problem.
Yeah.
Nor am I, number one, I'm not recognized in that way. Number 2, I'm definitely not that humble. What is that?
Well, I'm not. I may not be as humble as you claim I am, but I think it may be a sense of reality. I do really value reality, and I know that I have something to contribute, but it's not going to totally save the world in one gulp. So I do the best I can and make a contribution, and I work hard, and I enjoy the work I do. You know, so you don't have to be more than humble if you enjoy the work you do. Just do the work, and you get everything you need.
One more. I say the word retirement, you say?
Are you kidding?
Just want to do a little improv.
Yeah.
Just want to do a little improv. Every once in a while, people are like, how long are you going to do that, Steve? I'm like, I'm no Alan Alda, but look at him.
Yeah.
He said that it's not a good plan.
Look at Carl Reiner, 96. He's still writing books.
There's work to be done.
The thing is to have fun.
Yes.
If you can have fun doing something that's worth doing and that contributes something to another person or to other people, what could be better than that?
You just contributed once again to a lot of people, and allowing me and our team here at Public Broadcasting to be a part of it is an honor. Thank you everything that you've done for PBS, with PBS, and for so many folks for so many years. You honor us. Thank you so much.
You're very nice.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much, Steve.
Stay right there. We'll be right back from the Tisch WNET studio. You get Alan Alda here. What else do I have to say?
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 30 years of broadcast excellence. This special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato is brought to you from the Tisch WNET studios at Lincoln Center. Funding has been provided by Holy Name Medical Center, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, TD Bank, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, Fedway Associates, ADP, and by Suez. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.